Welcome back, Truth Seeker. June 25th, 2019, George Orwell's birthday, and I imagine today's headline would make him roll over in his grave. So the latest propaganda is Robert Mueller agrees to testify. And again, this news comes June 25th. The date of the political theater will be July 17th. And I want you to see what a ritual this is. He had a 22-month investigation. From today to July 17th is exactly 22 days later, and not by accident. Notice that Robert Mueller turned 74 August 7th, 2018. From his 74th birthday to today's news is 322 days. And of course, 322 is the number of Yale Skull and Bones. And Robert Mueller was made the director of the FBI by George W. Bush, who's a alumni of Skull and Bones, which identifies by 322. Earlier this year, when Mueller concluded his investigation on May 29th, I talked about this. May 29th is the 149th day of the year. That's the day the Mueller investigation concluded. And he stepped down as the special counsel. Skull and Bones sums to 149, just like how it ended on the 149th day of the year, and now you get this 322 ritual. And realize how they bring all this news to you, The Intelligence Committee just arrived at this decision today, which is absolutely bullshit. It's all scripted political theater. That's all our government is theater. There's nothing more to it. It's an ongoing distraction. This nation's a machine. So, just for a reminder, there's a really important movie everyone should watch, Enemy of the State. It's essentially about what happened on September 11th, 2001, but at 1 hour and 49 minutes into that film, Will Smith looks at his watch and look at what time it is, 3:22. And anyone can verify this. At 1 hour and 49 minutes, this is when this happens in the film. Again, Skull and Bones, 149, 3:22. When 9/11 happened, George W. Bush was president. Now, as for the date July 17th, the day he's going to testify, that's the 198th day of the year. And he's going to testify against President Trump. And what does President Trump equal? 198. And July 17th can be written 17/7 like 177. New World Order equals 177. Think about George Herbert Walker Bush, the Skull and Bones member, how often he talked about the New World Order, how he gave a speech about the New World Order September 11th, 1990, 11 years to the day of the attack in the 11th state, New York, where the World Trade Centers looked like giant 11s. They were each 110 stories tall, 110, 11 the master number, 22 the master builder number, the 22-month investigation, July 17th, 22 days away. It's all numerology, and it's all in your face. All propaganda in this nation is contrived by this code. And why? Because they're the cabal. And where does the term cabal come from? Kabbalah. And what's Kabbalah state? That God created the world by merging the letter with the number with the word. Now, for The Apprentice, from his birthday to the day Mueller's going to testify is 33 days later. Go figure, 33. Or 4 weeks and 5 days for number 45. Don't forget that Trump was announced as the president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the wall. Berlin Wall equals 45. Don't forget that Trump's family surname is Drumpf. They changed it to Trump later. Drumpf's 33, like masonry, like federal, like secrecy, like order. The alumni of Skull and Bones are Bonesman 33. As far as I know, Trump's not in Skull and Bones, but he did go to Fordham, a Jesuit school. His entire campaign for president was a Masonic ritual. It's not hard to see he's in tight with the secret societies. He visited the Jesuit Pope on the most perfect day for a Jesuit ritual, May 24th, 2017, the 144th day of the year. Jesuit order equals 144. That was a day after visiting Israel for Jerusalem Day. America first. And just for good measure, we've talked about this 1,000 times before. I have a book about it. Robert Mueller equals 187. So does investigation. So does Washington, D.C. So does George Washington. So does ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry. That's what's etched on the House of the Temple, the Masonic headquarters in D.C., which has 2 large portraits of the 2 Bush presidents. Society of Jesus, which is the official name of the Jesuits, also 187. From Trump's birthday to the first publicly Jesuit pope is a distance of 187 days. That's Pope Francis. And don't forget, Trump had his GOP convention start 18/7, like 187, exactly 187 days from Inauguration Day. And like I said, as soon as that date was set, are we looking at the next president? There were clues before that. That was a big one. 187. And speaking of the 322 gang, don't forget that George W., like George Washington Bush, is born July 6th, the 187th day of the year. And yes, I know his middle name's Walker, but George W., just think about it. In the land of Washington. And I guess I should say, for one last kicker, from May 29th, when the investigation concluded, to July 17th, that's 49 days. And let me just put this up here for you. May 29th, 2019 to July 17th, the testify date, is 49 days later. And, of course, that number matters because in our most pure cipher, the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, Washington's 49. Donald J. Trump, like how he spells his author name's 49. When you flip the alphabetic order around and use the rules of numerology, America's 49. A nation founded by Scottish Rite Freemasons, Scottish 49. Again, that's who has their headquarters in D.C. This is who works by this code every single day. Skull and Bones is just another Masonic order. And don't forget that Mueller, he took his office at the head of the FBI 7 days before September 11th on September 4th, a date which can be written 4/9. Notice he also exited that office on the same date, 4/9, like 49. And appointed by Rosenstein. There's something that stands out about that name. So now just watch how no one in the truth community shares this information. Watch how many people, dive into the divisive left-right paradigm and call themselves truthers. Just watch. Watch how false this truth community is. And for all you QAnon people, before I go, QAnon 74, Masonic 74, Occult 74, English 74, Gematria 74, Holiday 74, Independence Day 74. QAnon telling people to trust in the plan. Don't be active, just buy our book and merchandise and keep supporting the chump. The stooge puppet who was forecast as the president 20 years before he took the office through all sorts of sitcoms, even including Suddenly Susan. Suddenly Susan episode, Donald Trump. Let me see. I'll see that and raise you, Susan. This is the one. In this episode, which aired May 8th, 97, there's a picture of Donald Trump on a cover as president. See if I can pull it up. But just remember the day, May 8th. And come back to that. Donald Trump's the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. Let's see if I can find it here. Well, that's not the greatest shot. But if you watch the episode, this is the cover that they make in it. Donald Trump, our next president, May 8th. He ends up winning the 58th U.S. presidential election. Remember, he announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower He hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day, and the Most Pierced Cipher, Freemasonry 58. Rosicrucian 58. Secret Society 58. You know that name George W. Bush? 58. The Republican president before him. Even the family name Bush is 58. Again, Skull and Bones, Scottish Rite, Masonry, secret societies, running the show, by the numbers, all day, every single day. Isn't the whole point of pursuing truth to figure out what's actually going on and who's responsible? You know, most of you in the truth community, and I'm not talking about the people who follow this channel, I'm talking about, you know, all these mega channels with all these followers, all the people who follow these channels. It seems to them they think the purpose of truth is, you know, going after one political party. Believing in the tyrannical system, you know, believing in the state. You have to realize most of this truth community wears wool, and in a big way. And you also have to realize that almost all these other truth channels out here are nothing but frauds. Period. End of discussion. You know, that's why they don't talk about this. So, and I'll just save it for later. Until next time, Truth Seeker.